Hello! So if you are watching this video, this means that it is Wednesday, December 7th, and you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So this is a video on how we can do what's called evaluating expressions. So we've talked about what expressions are. Expressions are numbers and operations that tell you to do something in math. And then there's a couple other words that you guys learned on Monday and Tuesday, and those are variables, which is a letter that it's just a letter that you don't know. So an example would be that next week I told you that you're going to make $5 an hour. So then I tell you or I ask you, how much are you going to make next week? And most students have to think about it and they're like, wait a second, but if it's $5 an hour, I don't know how many hours I'm working. Oh, so that's something you don't know. That's something you don't know. All you do know is that you are using the $5 an hour. You're taking that $5 and multiplying it by however many hours there are. We just don't know how many hours. So you could write this like this. 5 times h. H is the variable that I chose to use, which is pretty much 5 times your hours. So that's why I'm saying it depends on how many hours you work, and that would result in how much that you make. So that's how a variable is used. It's used to represent something that we don't know. So the next thing we kind of need to review is whenever you have a number and a variable right up next to each other, they are being multiplied. That is 6 times x. And then x is a number that we don't know. So and if this is, if we need to do, I would watch the recordings from Tuesday. That'll go over this part of it and variables. So this is what I'm going to teach you in this video. This is called evaluating an expression. And evaluating can also be called simplifying. It's same thing, but if we can't, they're not going to use the word solve because solve would mean certain things. But it's not going to be solving. They're going to call you evaluating. So you're going to give something like this situation, this 2x plus 3. Okay? Now, again, that variable is something we don't know. It's a number that we don't know. That's why it's called a variable. So this x, we're like, I don't know what it is. But what if I told you? What if I gave you, well, what if it's 3? So for example, when x equals 3, I want to see what the answer would be. And so you're like, oh, okay. So instead of 2 times x plus 3, I'm going to do 2 times 3 plus 3. All I did was pluck out the x and put a 3 in its place. So that is called substitution, and that is what we're focusing on this week. All it does is you take that variable, pluck it out, and put the number it tells you to put in into that x. All right, so once that's in there, then you just follow order of operations. So they did the multiplication first, 2 times 3, and then they brought down the 3, and then 6 plus 3 is 9. So again, if you want to, go ahead and pause this video and just scoot it back a little bit if you want to watch that again. But I am going to do some examples for you so you can see. Okay, so in this example here, I am giving you what x equals, what y equals, and what z equals. I use 3 different letters because we're talking about 3 different numbers. So when it tells you to evaluate this, all it wants you to do is pluck out the variable. So instead of reading this as x plus 7, I want you to put the number that is next to x in its place. So I'm going to take out x and put in a 2 because it says that x equals 2. So 2 plus 7. So all I did here was where my x was, I put a 2. I substituted. I plucked out the x and I changed it to a 2. And then we're talking numbers here. All right, so let's do the next one. So this is 2y minus 1. Well, first I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, This is 2 times y minus 1. Now, I am going to change this y value to what it told me is y. So in this case, wherever I see a y, I need to put the same number. So it says, okay, well, y equals 3. All right, so instead of 2 times y, I'm going to make it 2 times 3. Now I just follow order of operations. You got to do the multiplication first, and then, so 2 times 3 is 6, and then 6 minus 1 is 5. All righty. So this one, I might need more room for, but I'll write small. I might need room. I'm going to write it over here. Plus 2y plus. I didn't think this there, you know? Okay. So this is 2 times x plus 2 times y plus 2 times z. But I know numbers that I can substitute in for x, y, and z. So it's going to be 2 times whatever x is, which I think, yep. So up here it says 2. So I'm going to put a 2 in here. Plus 2 times whatever y is, which I think we determined y was 3. So I'm going to put a 3 in that place. Plus 2 times whatever z is. And this is the first time we're using z. And z is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 in this place. All I'm doing is plucking out the variable and putting in the number it tells me to put in. So I'm plucking out the variable and putting in the number it tells me. So instead of 2 times x, I know that x equals 2. So this becomes 2 times 2. Y is 3 and z is 4. So don't start solving until you have everything substituted first. Okay? Focus on substituting numbers for variables, then worry about your order of operations. So according to order of operations, we got to do all of the multiplication in addition, or multiplication or division first. So I'm going to do this one. 2 times 2 is 4. Just one step at a time. So I still have multiplication or division, so I'm going to work from left to right. This is 6. And then I still have multiplication and division here. So that's 8. Now I can just do, now I'm going to do 8 plus 6. And 8 plus 6 is 14. And then I do 14 plus 8 more, which is 22. All right, that was a lot for my video, so I know that. What I would recommend is looking at this example here. Go ahead and you can re-watch it. It will really help. Then what you're going to focus on is you're going to go do the on your owns in the OLS. Let me show you. So in your course, you are going to go to content, which is where all your stuff is, and we are at the very last thing here. So you're going to click where it says Module 5, Exponents and Expressions. And this is the very last thing we'll do this semester, so it is 5.2, Evaluating Expressions. So we did all the learn part. So these are the notes. Their video will be here. This is where I want you to practice, okay? Go ahead and do the on your owns. And then you do have a quiz this week, which is in Progress Learning, which is doing exactly this. It's 3 attempts and all that. So that is what you guys are going to focus on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. If you have any questions, you can email me or Miss Logue, but we are here. But yeah, I would recommend just rewatching the video, which will be here, and then you can use your notes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so proud of you. You did great. I will see you guys on either on Friday or I will see you guys on Monday.